Hi everyone, I am back for a video because this is an important week coming up. We are finishing up Unit 1 and moving into Unit 2, so I wanted to touch on some important points going into that. First, I want to talk about peer reviews. Overall, pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them, and I think you guys are too. Just a couple of areas of room for improvement would be to make sure that you are providing good feedback. And what I mean by good feedback is that if you tell someone that something's not so great, either tell them why it's not so great or tell them how they can improve on it. If you're not giving them that information, they're not going to know how to improve on that. So make sure you're clarifying those things when you're doing these peer reviews. Pretend that you are me giving this information, this feedback, right? You wouldn't want me to just say your transitions aren't good. You'd probably want me to give you suggestions on how to improve that. You should be doing the same thing in your peer review. So think about that the next go around. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into week 4, big week coming up. On Monday, you should be focused on turning in your Unit 1 TIB essay. Before you turn it in, make sure you are revisiting the rubric to make sure that you are meeting the criteria of this essay. One thing that I like to do is I like to have someone read the paper, probably out loud to me. One, when they read it out loud to me, it helps me hear what my errors are in the writing so that I can go through and fix those. And two, I like to question them about what they've just read. So for example, for this essay, you need to tell us what your belief is, how it works or how you gained it and how it works in your life. So I would ask my reader that question. Hey, what do you think my belief is? How do you think I gained this belief? How do I use this belief in my life today? By asking those questions and getting their responses, you should be getting a pretty good idea of whether you're meeting the criteria of the assignment or not, about whether you're being clear about those things. So I suggest doing that, obviously using the online tutoring if you can. It's a 12-hour turnaround, so consider that if you do plan on using that, you're going to need to make sure that it's at least 12 hours before the assignment is due, hopefully much sooner than that because you're going to want to get some time to revise as well. Okay, once you turn that in, we are done with Unit 1, so you can leave that folder alone. Then we'll be going into Unit 2 folder on Wednesday. The very first thing I want you to do is complete the Unit 1 reflection. What this reflection does is it helps you kind of think back to the things that you did well for Unit 1 and the things that you need to improve on. I provided a list of questions to help you think about these things. You do not need to answer all of those questions. You just need to answer the 2 questions down at the bottom, right? What are the things that you did well? And what are the things that you need to improve on? And while you're doing this, also think about how I can improve for Unit 2 as well. What are some things that you like that I did with Unit 1? And what are some things that you would like for me to do in Unit 2 to help make sure that you are going to be successful, right? Because this is a two-way thing, right? I need to give you tools in order for you to be successful. So what can I do to help improve your experience as well? Once you've completed that reflection, then you can go ahead and jump into the Unit 2 important documents and the information located at the top of Unit 2's folder when you first click on Unit 2. That includes the prompt, suggested outlines, student examples, rubrics, things like that, the schedule, right? All of those things are to help you be successful in this unit. So make sure that you are going through that, and that way that you have a good understanding of what the Unit 2 assignment is. In just a few sentences, what the Unit 2 assignment is focused on is you are going to be creating a flag that represents a specific group that you belong to. Okay, and this can be like a friend group, sports group, church group. It doesn't matter really as long as it's a specific group that you belong to. Okay, and after you design that flag, then you will write an essay describing the design choices you have made to help represent that group. Okay, so the essay will be about the design choices of that flag. And you are going to be working with sources and citing sources with this essay, and you'll be introduced to those sources this week. In fact, Wednesday, you will need to watch a video titled "Why City Flags Might Be the Worst Thing You've Never Noticed." That will go over some design principles that you should be using when designing your flag, and kind of telling you things that you should and should not be doing when designing those flags. And that is one of the sources that you can use. Okay, on Friday, you will be introduced to your other two sources. One of them is Good Flag, Bad Flag, that goes over the same design principles that were talked about in the video on Wednesday, as well as a website called Color Symbolism and Culture. This is kind of self-explanatory. It goes over a bunch of different colors and what those colors represent. So you can choose some of those colors from that website to help accurately represent your group. On Friday, you will be turning in your Unit 2 topic proposal. You will be doing a brainstorming activity, and by the end of that brainstorming activity, you should be able to do two things. One, you should be able to tell me which group you are choosing to represent and why. And two, which colors you feel best represent that group and why. So that Unit 2 topic proposal will be due on Friday by midnight. So if you have any questions about finishing up Unit 1 or kind of getting started on Unit 2, make sure that you are reaching out to me. I am here to help in any way that I can. Have a great week, everybody.